My beloved child, you didn't tell anyone, but I saw you. I saw the moment you sat on the edge of your bed, staring at the floor, trying to breathe through the weight pressing on your chest. You looked strong to the world, but inside, you were barely holding on. You cried quietly, not for attention, not for pity, but because you didn't know how much longer you could wait. You whispered, "Lord, where are you?" You didn't want much, just a sign, just a glimpse, just one moment of relief. But all you felt was silence, stillness, nothing moving, nothing shifting. You looked around and asked, "Is everyone else moving forward but me?" And then you said something I'll never forget. "If you're there, please, just do something." My precious child, I was there in that moment more than ever. But you didn't feel me, because I wasn't standing in front of you. I was working behind the scenes. I wasn't ignoring you. I wasn't punishing you. I wasn't silent because I didn't care. I was building what you couldn't yet see. Behind every delay was my direction. Behind every silence was my strategy. Behind every closed door was my divine protection. You thought you were stuck, but I was preparing the ground for your next season. And now, I'm ready to show you what I've been doing in the places you couldn't see. Let's go back to where it started. Remember that opportunity you were so sure would change everything? You prayed, you hoped, you believed, and then it disappeared. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't that you lacked faith. It was that I saw what you couldn't. You saw a promotion. I saw a trap. You saw a relationship. I saw heartbreak. You saw stability. I saw spiritual stagnation. You wanted comfort, but I wanted growth. Because I don't just build lives, I build legacies. And legacies are not made in convenience. They're forged in quiet places when no one is clapping, no one is watching, and you choose to trust me anyway. There's a reason I didn't let you settle. There's a reason I didn't answer the way you expected. There's a reason I let it stretch longer than you thought you could handle. Because your faith wasn't supposed to be fragile. It was meant to be fire-tested. And child, I saw something in you that you didn't yet see in yourself. You have strength. You have purpose. You carry heaven's calling in your life. But to unlock it, you had to go through the fire, not to destroy you, but to refine you. Still, I know it hurt. You watched doors close. You watched people walk away. You watched your plans fall apart, and you thought, maybe I'm not chosen. Maybe I'm forgotten. No, you were being hidden. I was keeping you from what would have distracted you from what I destined you to become. Every no was making room for a greater yes. Every pause was a setup for power. But I know the thoughts you wrestled with. What if I missed it? What if I took too long? What if I'm too broken now? No, child, you're not behind. You're right on schedule. My schedule. And I'm never late. I know how deeply you've questioned yourself in the quiet moments. You tried to stay positive, but the delays made you doubt. You smiled in front of others, but behind closed doors, your heart was tired. You kept showing up, praying, working, waiting, even when it felt pointless. You felt overlooked, like no one saw the sacrifices you made. But I saw them. I saw every time you chose to believe me, when everything screamed, give up. I saw when you gave, even when you had little, when you encouraged others, even when you needed encouragement yourself, when you chose forgiveness over bitterness, when you lifted your hands in worship while your heart was breaking. All of that counted. None of it was wasted. Heaven was recording it. And now, what you sowed in tears, you're going to reap in joy. Because I have not forgotten you. I have not abandoned you. And I have not changed my mind about you. Do you remember the night you almost gave up? When the tears wouldn't stop and hope felt too heavy to carry? I was there. I heard you say, "I can't do this anymore." But you did. You got up the next morning. You took one more step, and that, child, was not weakness. That was warfare. You've been fighting battles no one sees, waging war in silence. But you never fought alone. Every time you whispered my name, I dispatched angels. Every time you chose faith over fear, I reordered circumstances. But because it didn't look like a miracle, you thought I wasn't moving. Child, not every miracle makes noise. Some are built in the dark, stitched together in silence. Just like seeds grow underground, your breakthrough was growing. Out of sight, but never out of my hands. Now listen closely. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of what I've been preparing you for. You're about to step into rooms I prepared while you were in the wilderness. You're about to walk through doors that stayed closed until your heart was ready. And what's coming isn't just an answer to prayer. It's a testimony that will shake others awake. Because what I do for you, I'll use to lift others. That's why the process was deep. That's why the pain was sharp. Because the glory will be heavy. You will not be known by your struggle. You will be known by my strength in your story. I'm restoring what you thought was lost. I'm redeeming what you thought was wasted. Nothing you've walked through will be in vain. I kept every tear. I recorded every cry. I stood beside you in every silent battle. And now, I'm lifting you. Not because you earned it, not because you were perfect, but because you stayed. You stayed faithful. You stayed open. You stayed surrendered. Even when you didn't understand me, you didn't walk away. And that, child, has made all the difference. So here's what I want you to hear deep in your spirit. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are not finished. What you thought was the end was simply me turning the page. The story is still being written, and I'm still the author. Part 14. Yes, it's taken longer than you thought. Yes, it's been harder than you imagined. But I'm doing something far greater than what you prayed for. I'm not just answering your request, I'm fulfilling your purpose. And when I bring it to pass, it will be undeniable that it was me. People will ask, "How did that happen?" And you'll say, "It was Jesus." He never stopped working behind the scenes. So lift your head, strengthen your heart, and walk forward in faith. Because I'm not done. I'm just getting started. Let this be etched into your heart. Delay is not denial. Silence is not absence. Waiting is not wasting. I work in the quiet. I move in the unseen. I prepare you in places no one applauds. And just because you didn't see me doesn't mean I wasn't moving. Sometimes the greatest faith is believing I'm working, even when you see nothing changing. Child, my timing is perfect. My plans are precise. My promises are sure. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are loved. You are chosen. You are carried. And I am always working behind the scenes. Trust me, because what's ahead is worth every second you waited in the dark. I love you. I've got you. And I'm not letting go. Jesus.